Yeah, I mean, going against Kobe, though, that was – because,
Kobe wasn't an easy guy to go against, bro. You can't stop Kobe.
I think back to the times, though, where we bounced them out as the 8 seed after Shaq left.
Right.
Anytime I get into arguments with Laker fans, with the
we beat the Lakers. We got Kobe out of there.
The first round.
In the first round.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I always bring that up because I always do the LeBron or Jordan versus Kobe because, I live in L.A., so them L.A. fans, they don't want to hear anything. And I'm like, well, when Kobe was just Kobe and there was no other guys, 8 seed, and we got him up out of there 2 years straight.
2 years straight. Suns over the Lakers.
Talk to me about that seed. So, listen, the what ifs, right? You brought up Joe Johnson, which is one of the more heartbreaking free agency departures because we think about what could have been, right? Like, I remember being at those games with Joe. I remember being at that Clippers game where Tim Thomas hit that 3 in the corner against the Clippers in the playoffs when the Clippers had like Sam Cassell.
I remember
that. When as a player, what's the morale like when the Joe Johnson thing happens and you're like, this is a easy. This I mean, it has to kind of mess with you a little bit where you're like,
I mean, Joe's my guy. Like, we both.
And it's such an obvious basketball move to make.
Yeah, you would think so. Joe was there my rookie year, right? So we was like around the same age, and so we had great, camaraderie as young players that's going to grow in this league.
Right.
We figured we'll be, on the same squad for some time and keep growing and keep getting better. And we had a solid playoff run.
Solid.
When we had Q Rich and those guys, we went to the Western Finals.
Yep.
And so when Joe leaves, I'm like, all right, well, that's just a bad move. He didn't really ask for a lot, and he wanted to stay. And as a player, I'm like 2 years in, I can't really say much and try to demand anything at that moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know how this whole thing works. So it was tough when Joe left. But we had to keep pushing. And I think they knew, like, they had Stoudemire and then Nash, which is the cornerstone guys.
And Marion. And
Sean. So whatever players you bring around them, it's going to be successful regardless. So I think that was the mindset also with the ownership.
I was going to say, was there, like, I feel like back then it wasn't as publicized because we were winning so much. The Sarver thing, I feel like later on during the dark years, I call them, like, people were like, sell the team, #sell the team.
Yeah.
Did you guys realize, like, the ownership for the Suns at that point in time is a little bit different than some of the more marquee franchises in the league?
Yeah, it was getting crazy, bro. I mean, I came into the Suns when we had Jerry Colangelo, who was an awesome owner.
For sure.
And
the
then
GOAT. Some might say the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, bro. And then Bryant Colangelo was our GM. Yep. And he would bring players in. It was sign players. And it wasn't like a stingy type of organization. Like, the best players want to come here. We're going to pay you to come, and we're going to play to win.
Right.
That kind of shifted when Sarver came. It was like more so trying to reconstruct deals. Joe's gone, not re-signing Stoudemire. Like, it was a whole thing that took place, which wasn't the same energy as it was with Mr. Colangelo. But long story short, we still had our core guys who still had success.
For sure.